I traveled to Mineral Wells, Texas, for what was supposed to be a short work trip. Nothing serious. Just research. But I wasn't prepared for what I'd find. My destination? The infamous Baker Hotel, once a glamorous healing resort, now a ghost of its past. Stories of underground tunnels, illegal surgeries, and tragic love affairs echo through the town. But one name kept showing up, Virginia Brown. They say she was the secret lover of hotel magnate T.B. Baker himself. That when their affair turned cold, she climbed to the 13th floor, and jumped. Witnesses, guests, staff, even passers-by, have reported seeing a woman in a blood-stained red dress wandering the halls. Sometimes she appears nude, drenched, confused, only to vanish when approached. I was skeptical. Until I found something that changed everything. Deep in an archived hotel registry, tucked between dust and cobwebs, I found her name. Virginia Brown. I thought I had escaped room 714. I left the Baker Hotel behind. The flickering lights. The cold air. That voice. I thought it was over. But it followed me. A few days after returning home, I started hearing strange noises around 3 a.m. Not from outside. From inside the house. My Ring doorbell would trigger itself, no movement, no person, just the soft sound of breathing. Then, a voice. You opened the door. I froze. That same whisper. The same voice from room 714. I checked my phone. The Ring app had recorded something, but the video file had no visual, just darkness. The timestamp, 3:14 a.m. I downloaded the file. I played it. Static. A long silence. Then, you let me out. That night, my hallway light turned on by itself. I went out to check, and on the wall near my bedroom, there were wet footprints. Bare feet. Leading nowhere. I live alone. I tried deleting the audio file. It came back the next day, renamed, 714, return.wave. I got scared. I unplugged my camera. Disconnected my phone. But that only made it worse. The voice became louder. Not from the app. From inside the house. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't think. And then one night, I heard her clearly. We're not done. I don't know what I released in room 714. But I know this, she's not trapped there anymore. My radio crackled to life. Emergency units to Grande Avenue Park. Unknown female victim, critical condition. Immediate response required. Grande Avenue. Just 3 blocks from where I sat, half distracted in my cruiser. I grabbed the radio. Unit 9 responding. En route now. Do we have any details on the attack? Negative. Scene still unsecured. I started the engine, adrenaline overriding the weariness from a long shift, and turned out onto the street. As I drove, I could already hear sirens approaching from other directions. Whatever had happened out there, it wasn't small. By the time I arrived, flashing lights painted the neighborhood red and blue. Yellow tape was already circling the perimeter of the park. I flashed my badge and stepped across the line. It didn't take long to spot the cluster of responders gathered near a tree-lined clearing. I moved past the vehicles until one of the officers, vaguely familiar from academy days, gave me a nod and stepped aside. That's when I saw her. Or what was left of her. Thousands of sharp wooden spikes, toothpicks, embedded deep into every inch of exposed skin. Blood oozed from the thousands of tiny punctures, forming a red sheet across her body, staining the grass beneath her. You could hardly tell it was a woman, if not for what the responders said. But the worst part? She was still alive. Chest heaving, slowly, as if every breath was a war. Her entire body convulsed with the movement, pressing the barbed spikes deeper with each breath. A paramedic stood nearby, his expression a pale mixture of horror and helplessness. "We can't move her," he muttered. "We've tried. The toothpicks aren't normal, they have these reverse barbs. Every time she moves, they burrow deeper." I swallowed hard. "Why not just start removing them?" "You don't get it," he said, wide-eyed. "They're everywhere. Nose, ears, throat. We tried inserting a tube to help her breathe, but even that's blocked. She's being crushed from the inside." I looked again at her body. Not just at the gore, but at the stillness creeping in. Her breath was slowing. The paramedics knew it. I knew it. She was dying. Slowly. Painfully. And none of us could stop it. I've seen trauma in this job. Violence. Cruelty. But this was a different kind of evil. It wasn't rage or impulse. It was design. Someone had spent time creating this. Planning it. There was silence among us. Not because there was nothing to say, but because none of us wanted to accept what we were looking at. "How was she found?" I asked. "Same way you see her now," the paramedic replied. "Local jogger called it in." He hesitated, then added, "We found a few items next to her. Thought you might want to see." He returned a moment later with two objects in gloved hands, a small folded piece of paper and a silver wristwatch. The watch stopped me. It wasn't just familiar, it was personal. Chain-link silver. 3 small dials. I'd worn it before. Or no, she had. I turned it over. 2 letters were engraved on the back. The world tilted. 6 years ago, I engraved those very initials onto that watch before handing it to my sister on her birthday. Alice Edwards. She'd vanished 3 years later during an evening job. No trace. Just, gone. I looked again at the body. And for the first time, I really saw her. The eyes, barely visible under blood and splinters, were unmistakable. Dead, but still hers. My sister had died. And I hadn't even known I was watching it happen. Grief hit me like a wave crashing through concrete. My knees buckled, but I held it together, barely. I turned away from the others, from the pitiful looks of those who understood what had just happened without a single word being said. I nodded at the officer by the tape and walked beyond the line. As I stood by my car, I remembered the folded paper still in my hand. I opened it. Scrawled in shaky, handwritten letters was a single question: "What do you think of my little hedgehog?" Below that, in smaller writing, "If you like this one, don't worry. The zoo has only just begun." Part 2, Gone in the Dark. And then, without warning, the overhead lights cut off, plunging us into complete blackness. There's a specific kind of fear that seizes you when the world around you disappears into shadow. A cold, instinctual dread that grips your spine and quickens your heartbeat in a way no gunshot ever could. In that suffocating darkness, I heard the hurried shuffle of boots against the concrete. The sound came from somewhere near where Thompson had fallen. Maybe it was Ramirez, rushing to help him. Or maybe it was something else. Something with worse intentions. The gunner, perhaps. Either way, I didn't dare call out. My voice caught in my throat, strangled by the uncertainty of what was moving around us. Then I heard more footsteps. Heavier. Faster. Not just one person. 2. 3. Maybe more. It was chaos without light, just the cacophony of movement and breath and fear echoing in a room that suddenly felt too vast. I debated bolting for Thompson's last known position. Maybe I could drag him out. But I knew I couldn't carry him alone. He was a big man, and dead weight is a cruel burden in the middle of a war zone. I turned, hoping Edison had a plan. Anything. A flashlight. A flare. A miracle. And then, Just as quickly as they had vanished, the lights flickered back to life with a cold, electric hum. The scene before me made my stomach turn. That tall creature, what we'd come to call the Giraffe Man, was lying twisted on the ground, his abnormally long neck bent at an angle that screamed unnatural. He wasn't moving. Dead, or on the edge of it. Ramirez was slumped forward over a rusted metal crate across the room. Blood trickled from a gash above his eyebrow. His chest rose faintly. He was alive, but only just. But Thompson? Gone. Vanished like smoke. And the gunner? Also gone, no sign of blood, no shell casings, no trail. Just the echo of violence and the eerie, sterile quiet of the warehouse, like it had all been wiped clean. My head was spinning. We'd gone in with 3 men. We came out with one barely breathing in something inhuman left behind. Thompson was gone without a trace, like the air had swallowed him whole. I'd come looking for a teammate and walked away with more questions than answers. But what haunts me most? It's what we heard over that damned PA system. Those distorted, mechanical words still ring in my head. They said the Giraffe Man's neck was formed of large segments of human flesh. Segmented. Combined. That doesn't happen with just one person. That takes many. That means they have more. More bodies. More people. Which means Thompson isn't alone wherever he is now. And neither are they.